If you want to know the secrets of existence and the true meaning of life, I can't help you. But if you want some book recommendations, why not try reading the ones I wrote? If you're a fan of giant monster mayhem and anime weirdness, why not try Operation Red Dragon: The Daikaiju Wars Part 1? If horror is more your style, you can't go wrong with The Occult Mafia. Those who enjoy their fantasy with a dark twist may be interested in Emerald of Maddox City. And if you're interested in shared universes, why not read all three? Hop on down to the description for links to all three books on Amazon. Enjoy whichever ones you read, and enjoy the video. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Omni viewer, and I apologize for the slow uploads leading up to Godzilla vs. Kong. The past week, as I've mentioned elsewhere, has been difficult for personal reasons, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Still got to get the one monstrous moment going for the deadline. And I'm making this video to try and get myself back into the swing of it, because I thought, I just want to see where it goes. I picked this up, The Ultimate Guide to Godzilla vs. Kong. So ultimate, in fact, that it's relatively thin. And I picked it up so you don't have to, because looking through it, this is obviously made for a very wide general audience. A die-hard Godzilla, Kong, or Kaiju fan such as myself probably isn't going to get much out of this that we didn't already know. And in fact, they're just going to notice all sorts of errors, like, for example, what page is it on? Here it is. This labeling of an image of Rodan from King of the Monsters as Warbat. I swear it's real. But I'm not making this video to rip into this little magazine thing. I'm making it because of this quiz. Are you Godzilla or Kong? You may recall I was one of the first people to take sides in this particular conflict, declaring Team Godzilla all the way, which has now officially been spoken by Millie Bobby Brown. So, I thought the real test of how well this is put together is the actual test. If this is accurate, then I should still wind up as Team Godzilla. But I don't know what kind of questions we're looking at here. I'm going into this completely blind, so I'm just going to see where it goes. I'll put the questions up so you can answer them as well as you go along. And please feel free to leave the results down in the comments section. I'm curious to see what happens. All right, are we all ready? Let's begin. Question 1. Pick a classic monster. A. Dracula. B. Frankenstein. C. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Or D. Invisible Man. I'm not entirely sure what these have to do with the Godzilla vs. Kong conflict. I mean, yeah, Kong is generally counted as a universal monster most of the time, but what is... Well, either way, despite the weirdness of this question, obvious answer for me, Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's always been my favorite of the universal monsters. So that's C for me. Question 2. Which best describes your personality? A. Introverted. B. Extroverted. C. Loner. Or D. Social. I can sort of see where this might be a little more accurate, because some of these could be applied to either of these monsters. I would say I'm going to go with A on this one, introverted. Pick a pizza topping. A. Pepperoni. B. Veggies. C. Chicken. Or D. Pineapple. I guess I can sort of see where they're coming from, with Godzilla looking like a predatory dinosaur and Kong being a presumably herbivorous gorilla, but pizza toppings? And heck, it's not even that accurate to the movies, considering we've seen Kong eat meat in Kong Skull Island, and in the classic Toho films, when we see Godzilla or members of Godzilla's species eat, he actually eats plants most of the time. Like Minilla eats coconuts, Baby Godzilla in the Heisei films eats a rose and later eats hay. In the Marvel comics, Godzilla grazes on trees. Whatever. They clearly are just asking a question. I should just answer it. I'm going with A. I know it's traditional, but I like pepperoni pizza. Sue me. Pick a film genre. A. Horror. B. Drama. C. Thriller. Or D. Rom-com. Well, again, none of those really have much to do with these particular characters. These are kind of weird so far. They could generally be asked in any particular context. That's the impression I'm getting. You could reframe this to be anything else, but I guess the closest one you could say is accurate is horror, if you apply it strictly to the original Godzilla, or maybe to the deleted spider pit scene from the original King Kong that later found its way into the Peter Jackson version. So yeah, I'm gonna go with horror. Not just because I actually wrote a horror novel, but because of those, that would be my choice for genre. Question 5. What would be your superpower? A. Flight, B. Telepathy, C. Regeneration, or D. Super strength? Again, only one of those applies to these characters, the regeneration part. Telepathy maybe applies to Godzilla if you go with the early Heisei films. You remember when they were trying to build up Miki Sakusa as the psychic who can somehow link to Godzilla, and then Godzilla vs. Biollante implied that Godzilla could give psychic feedback, and then they didn't really explore that much in the later films because they forgot. But whatever. These are kind of random. Super strength, I mean, that's implied when it's something that big. And flight, neither of these two can fly. Again, I'm getting the sense that they're just sort of randomly picking these, but which one would I go with? Actually, based on what I wrote in Operation Red Dragon, I'm going to go with Regeneration. So, yeah, C. Question 6, and this one only has 2 options. Which would you rather play? A. Checkers, or B. Chess? Again, what does this have to do with Godzilla and Kong? I mean, I guess the implication is that checkers is usually viewed as a simpler game than chess, but as someone who has played both fairly regularly, I can tell you, you still need strategy to play either one. It just takes a different form of strategy when it comes to checkers. But, I don't know, this is kind of a toss-up for me, if I'm being honest. I guess, you know what, I'm gonna call it a wash. I'll just say both of them. I'll take the value for both. Question 7, pick a dream vacation destination. A. Hawaii, B. New York City, C. Los Angeles, D. Thailand. No, this is not a Cosmopolitan. This is definitely a Godzilla vs. Kong magazine. What does this have to do with... I mean, Hawaii, that was in 2014. New York City, classic Kong location. It's... Yeah, I don't even know. I'm actually kind of torn on this one because I've been to both New York City and Los Angeles, and they're not places I generally prefer to be. I don't necessarily know if I'd want to go to Thailand either. Thailand seems nice, but the thing about those 3 locations is that they're very crowded, usually. And I'm not really one who likes to be in crowded places, so that leaves Hawaii. I guess I'll go with that. Question 8, another one with only 2 answers. Which is a better stress reliever? A. Exercise, or B. Meditation? Again, I'm not sure what the connection is here, but also I am not really that big a fan of either. I mean, I will do some minor exercises, I'll take walks and whatnot, but I don't really find that they relieve stress, and I also don't really meditate. I'm a Christian, so I pray, but... I'm calling a mulligan on this one. I'm not actually going to answer it, because neither of those really apply to me, and I see no way in which they apply to either Godzilla or Kong. Question 9. What scares you the most? A. Fire, B. Water, C. Heights, or D. Bugs? Okay, maybe I can see, like... Wait. Question 8. Which scares you the most? A, fire, B, water, C, heights, D, bugs. I guess I can sort of see how fire and heights could be considered a fear of Kong's, and maybe water, but Godzilla wouldn't apply to that, and I don't think he would be afraid of bugs, and Kong wouldn't be afraid of bugs. Why am I still trying to rationalize this quiz in terms of the framing device? It clearly doesn't care. But as for me, I don't really think I'm afraid of any of these. I have a healthy respect for how dangerous they can be in certain circumstances. I guess if I had to pick one of these, I'd say I was most afraid of bugs, but I'm really not afraid of bugs. So do I even pick? I'm not sure. I have no idea how this applies, and none of the answers really apply to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with bugs, just so I can say I answered it. Last one, question 10, which again only has 2 answers. Which would you prefer to have? A, brawn, or B, brains? Now that one I feel is a very leading one in terms of which applies to which. Honestly, if I had to pick one, I would go with B for brains. So, there's mine. Alright, let's look at the results. I got mostly A's and C's, and according to that, this means Godzilla. So it got that right, but let's see the description. You're the king or queen of a good time and always down for some adventure. Now, for those of you who got mostly B's and D's, that means you're King Kong. You're a peaceful creature who's introspective and prefers a drama-free existence. Now, wait a minute. That doesn't really add up. Okay, it says mostly A's and C's for Godzilla, and says you're the king or queen of a good time and always down for some adventure. Let's look back at some of those original answers. Which best describes your personality? A and C for that one are introverted and loner. That means, that doesn't sound like someone who's a party animal always looking for adventure. Extroverted and social, B and D, those sound like they would better describe that than someone who is peaceful, introspective, and wants a drama-free existence. And man, who put this together? I don't see a credit here. There's something in the back. I don't see anyone specifically assigned to it, but that test didn't make any sense. And even though I guess it still got the right answer in the long run, that I am still Team Godzilla, it's for completely the wrong reasons. I don't think I've ever seen a personality quiz screw up this much and yet still somehow get the right answer. I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Well, anyway, that's the personality quiz from the Ultimate Guide to Godzilla vs. Kong. I guess it's true what they say. A broken clock is still right twice a day. And man, is this broken. So, yeah. I'd like to hear what results you guys got. Put them down in the comments section and express your feelings on whether or not their descriptions of Godzilla and Kong respectively are at all accurate to either the characters or to you. Man, I did not expect, well actually a part of me did kind of expect it, but still, yikes. So until such time as we meet again, this is Omni Viewer. I'm even messing up my own sign-off. Team Godzilla all the way. Good grief.
If you enjoyed what you just saw,
Hop on down to the description for links to Patreon, DeviantArt, and all of our social media, as well as links for Operation Red Dragon, The Daikaiju Wars Part 1, The Occult Mafia, and Emerald of Maddox City, 3 original novels I think you'll really enjoy. Thank you all, and we appreciate your support.